Hi again. I don't know what happened to that live. Did it get deleted? Because the previous one, I don't know what happened to that. And I'm waiting for George to join. What happened to that? Hello, George. Thank you. So, today's guest is has joined. So I'll add his request because last time. Hello, George. I'm waiting for George to join. I've requested him to join.
Hey, how you doing, Altab?
Hello, George. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
What time is it there?
It's 3:30 here.
3:30, yeah. The sun is
Yeah.
bright and look
Yeah,
amazing.
we're going down in a minute though. It gets dark pretty early here, so we'll go down afterwards.
So what I went live just 5 minutes ago and I was waiting for you to join and then I saw your message on DM and then I went there to check
Yeah,
and the and the
I
live got
thought you
deleted. I don't know
invited
how.
me in the message chat. That's why I was like looking at the message chat thinking you were going to invite me, and then you were like, "No, I'm live. Just click join." I was like,
No, I invited you 2-3 times but you were like not there. Okay guys, thank you for all the guys who have joined. I'll just take the names. Thank you Anandita, Nikita, Kavigros, Harin, Sinclair, Kostav Datta, Brandon, Fab, My Vegan Soul. Thank you all for joining. The people are joining in. So I just introduced you before, but that got deleted. So George Martin is a savage vegan activist from United Kingdom. He had created Carnism Debunked, a website, and he put all the vegan arguments there so people can learn. So it was a like very kind gesture, a selfless gesture to train and teach vegan activists. And I learned a lot from the like 6 years ago. I learned most of my activism from that website. And thank you, George, for creating such the content for people to learn from. It helps a lot. Thank you so much.
I'm very honored to hear that. Thank you, Altab. That's very kind.
So yeah, George, for our guests, can you just give your short introduction? So we will move on to the next question. Just a little short introduction. So people of India who do not know you, I'm sure most of them know, but those who do not.
Yeah, so I've been vegan since 2013. First went vegan after watching Gary Yourofsky's speech. And I've done a lot of activism in that time. I've done stuff with like Anonymous for the Voiceless. I'm now doing outreach stuff with like We Were Free. And obviously, as you said, the Carnism Debunked website. I've also got the YouTube channel, which I'm hoping to get off the ground now. It's quite undersubscribed at the moment, but I'm trying to put regular content out on there a lot. And yeah, basically what I've been mainly doing at the moment.
Okay. So George, can you hear me clearly?
I can, but you've got like music playing in the background.
Alexa, pause.
Yeah,
So
that's
someone
better.
suggested that I should play music in the background so it is seamless. So can you hear me clearly now?
Yes, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah, even I can hear you clearly now.
Cool.
So you are from which city? Can you say? Yeah, we turned off the background noise.
So
Which
I'm
city are you?
originally I'm originally from a small place just outside London, but now I live in Bristol, which is in sort of the western part of England.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a
You live in
big.
Bristol right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what do you do?
So for work at the moment, I'm just working sort of just doing night shifts at a place around the corner, and then I'm also getting a bit of income from my Patreon and stuff. So I'm sort of
Hmm.
balancing two things.
So
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 yeah, I've got a bit of income for activism, and then just like a normal little job just to get a bit of money on top of that.
so would you call yourself a full-time animal activist or part-time animal activist?
Yeah, I'm not. I can't be full time at the moment, unfortunately, because I don't have enough income from that. So I guess at the moment I can only afford to do the activism part time. But I do get a lot of free time to myself and stuff, which is good. So thanks. So a big thank you to those who are supporting me and stuff in that way, because I've had more time than ever now to actually make that content and stuff and do activism, which is good.
Guys, if you are watching, go to his Patreon account and if you can, please support his work because he is an amazing activist. So you went vegan in 2013 and
Yes.
the reason you said was Gary Yourofsky's video, right? So
Absolutely.
tell me about the reaction of your family. How did they react?
So at first, my family were quite, I guess, we were very much surprised at the start. And we had a few arguments and stuff here and there, but only kind of minor ones. We didn't have big major fallouts or anything like that. I think my parents, more than ever, they were just very sort of curious and a bit confused as to why I was doing this. Because, you know, at that time, veganism was, it was so small. It wasn't as mainstream as it is now. But, you know, back in 2013, early 2013, you know, it was just nowhere near as much in the mainstream as it is now. And I think a lot of people were just quite sort of like, you know, why on earth would anyone choose to do that? That sounds strange. But then once I explained the reasons to them and stuff, gradually they got it. And yeah, my family's been very receptive to it since then. My mum is like very predominantly plant-based now as a result. She eats probably like 95% plant-based. My dad will never be vegan, but he's very like supportive of my work, and he says he's very proud of the stuff I do and stuff. So yeah, the response from my family has been good.
How about your friends? How did they react? Did they mock you or desert you, or they supported you?
So I think I've only had bitter falling outs with more sort of like acquaintances rather than friends. So people maybe who I might have like been to like uni with or worked with or something like that. But as far as I'm actually like my most close group of friends, they've been very receptive to it. Like they say that they mostly just admit themselves that they have no real argument against it. It's just like a laziness kind of thing. And one of my best mates as well, he went vegan with me. When I watched Gary Yourofsky speak, I showed it to him, and he went vegan straight away. It didn't work on the rest of them, but they all like understand the reason.
Okay, you got support from a friend. And tell me, would you ever date a non-vegan?
No, I wouldn't. I'd have to be in a relationship with a vegan. I have to be vegan if I'm to be in a relationship with them.
So when you said you went vegan close to like 8 years ago, many people think that going vegan means quitting dairy products and not using honey. They don't think about other part, because that's how veganism is promoted in most part of the world. It's all focused on diet. So people think when they stop eating it's a vegetarian and then it goes to vegan. People think like that. So did you think like that too, or did you also like stop using animal used products tested on animals, or leather products and fur wool, that?
For me, yeah, I never saw it from the dietary perspective. As soon as I went vegan, I knew what veganism was about. I knew it was about leaving animals alone in all industries, and it was about not enslaving them, not violating their bodies in any way, whether that's for wool, whether it's for animal testing, anything like that. So and I think that was what's so great about Gary's speech, because he just puts it so well about it's about ending slavery, it's about ending a Holocaust. It's not about a plant-based diet or anything like that.
So, like you said, Holocaust. There is a huge controversy in the vegan community right now. I see people divided and people canceling each other, whoever like taking any side. So, what do you have to say about that? The word Holocaust. How do you see that? Like, is it fair to use that? Because many people like of the Jewish descent, they feel bad about it. What's your response to that?
Not only is it fair, it's absolutely warranted. It wouldn't be justified to say, it's not justified to say that it's not a Holocaust. To me, it's very speciesist when people who are supposed to be part of the animal rights movement say that animals should not have these terms associated with them. If you think that yourself, I can only see that as that person just thinking that animals are below them in some way, which kind of proves the point about what Holocaust is, about this idea that we're doing this to inferior beings. And also, many people don't understand the etymology of the word Holocaust. The word Holocaust comes from ancient Greece, holocaustos, which was animal sacrifice. The word belongs, if anyone, to the animals. It derives from their mass murder. The very specific, the term specific to the mass murder of Jews in World War II is actually Shoah. People call it the Holocaust because people associate that as the biggest one of the many, many, many Holocausts that have been throughout history. But they don't realize that the animal Holocaust is actually the largest one of the Holocausts throughout history.
Got it. Thank you so much for clarifying. I didn't have that idea. Now I know. And when humans are treated badly, people say that they are being treated like animals. So people, they use that, but when we use something that is used for humans, humans get triggered because they don't want to get compared with animals. They think they're above that.
Yeah, it's
So
a huge
tell
contradiction.
me,
Yeah, exactly. Like the same, slavery, the Holocaust and stuff, they'll always say that the human victims in those oppressions were treated like animals. But then the minute you say that animals are treated like people in those oppressions, suddenly that becomes wrong. That makes no sense whatsoever.
tell me, is it easy to be vegan in your city, like alternatives wise? Do you get like a lot of alternatives or vegan restaurants there, or it is difficult?
Just so easy. Like, you don't even have to think about it. The UK is really, really good now for vegans, and Bristol in particular is just fantastic. We have many cities here that are very, very open to veganism, and Bristol is one of them. And like, even for example, like non-vegan restaurants in Bristol, they will have like an extensive vegan menu. Like there's a pizza restaurant down the road. It's not even a vegan place, but it has like vegan smoked salmon pizzas and stuff like that. It just has everything. And supermarkets are easy as hell. There's whole vegan sections there now, like in the Waitrose around the corner. You can get like all the mock meats that you want. It's so easy, and it just I just find every time you see all these meals and stuff, you just think, how on earth are people not vegan now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, can you read the comments below? Can you read the comments?
Yeah, I can see them.
Something hit my eye. I read George is so sexy. Who is that? George is sexy. Yeah, undoubtedly. It just like popped in my eye. Oh God, what's happening? Okay. Have you ever been to India?
I haven't been to India. No. The
Really?
only time I've been out of Europe, I've been to North America and I've been to Africa. I've never once been to Asia.
Okay. Do you want to come to India?
To be honest, I've heard really bad scare stories about India, like from friends who have gone there and stuff. And from you as well, because you even told me during the podcast, if I spoke the way I speak here about animal rights in India, they would want me killed.
But you will come here as a tourist. It's quite possible that people got scammed and things like that, but I don't think it's very prevalent. Maybe the friends that you had, they got scammed. Yeah, I can understand, but it's pretty safe. Like on average, I think it's safe for tourists. So you don't want to come to India?
Maybe one day, but so far from what I love my Indian vegan community. I love Indian food. Hey, yeah, sorry, your thing just cut out a moment, but yeah, I can see you fine.
Yeah. I think there was some glitch.
Yeah, so good.
So Harin is saying you should not come to India, bro. You are an Indian. You should say nice things about India. People are watching.
I did. I made sure to. As I said, I love my Indian vegan family and I love the culture and food and stuff. But man, like the stories I've heard were just like, holy shit. Like, I think one of my friends is watching now, actually. My friend Day, he went to India, and it just, like, he said they tried to go to the Taj Mahal, and the whole train station was in on a scam. Like, we like diverted them to some other place for like some like 5-hour drive or something, and they drove them to like the abandoned factory and stuff. And like these guys, like, it sounds so messed up.
It happens.
There you go.
Okay. Tell me about the kind of activism that you do.
So Mainly I've been doing digital activism, especially during the lockdown and stuff. So making my videos and stuff like that, and writing posts and that kind of thing. But I like to do street outreach as well. So I used to do a lot of stuff with EV, and then I do stuff like, I don't know, Earthlings Experience when it's about, and then We the Free has just set up as well. So that's what I love to do, is be out on the street talking to people.
Okay. So you do digital activism, yeah. And do you want to like go out in the streets and do slaughterhouse vigils and those kind of activism like Joey Carbstrong? What did that?
Yeah, I've done. I've done the kind of stuff that Joey does out in the streets, doing that kind of stuff. But I've also done slaughterhouse. I've done a slaughterhouse vigil before. The thing is with slaughterhouse vigils is I don't know like how effective they are for actually changing people. They're good. It's good that people are there and actually filming what the animals go through, and I think that helps change people because you're sharing that stuff on social media. But as far as actually, I just think the most effective use of time is to be out on the streets, actually talking to people face to face.
Okay. Got it. What's your favorite color?
So,
okay,
sorry.
Okay.
I just see Lee, my friend, in the comments saying, "What is We the Free?" So I'm just going to explain to him what it is. So We the Free is a new street outreach organisation, Lee. Works in the same way as like AV and Earthlings Experience. So it's just bringing footage to the street and talking to bystanders. If you want, Lee, drop me a message after this and I'll send you a link. But yeah, sorry, Altab, go ahead.
Yeah. So there is a separate discussion in the comment section about whether India is safe or not. Guys, continue. Continue. You started a new controversy, bro. When this video gets saved, I'll get kicked in the ass. Favorite color? Tell me about your favorite color.
Yellow.
Yellow. Favorite food that you like to eat?
Indian food.
Indian food you like?
Yeah.
Do you get that? Do you get that then?
Very popular in the UK. The most popular foreign food in the UK is Indian food. Like it's absolutely part. Everyone eats it every week.
Indian friends who are watching, something to be happy about. Cheer up now. Favorite attire?
Damn. Anything activism related. I don't know. A vegan t-shirt.
Okay. Favorite holiday destination?
Damn. Maybe I'm getting too old for it now. I would say I used to like clubbing holidays and stuff. But maybe now I'm getting a bit older, something a bit more relaxing. I don't know, like a nice visit somewhere like Spain or something like that. That would be cool.
How old are you, if you don't mind answering that? Because you said you getting older.
I'm 31.
31. Okay. What's your favorite animal? Do you like animals?
I absolutely love animals. I'd say my favorite animal is probably a pig. I love pigs. Piglets are cute as fuck. I do agree.
What would you do if someone gave you $1 billion? Because when I said 1 million, David was saying 1 million is too less. It's like not much. So now I'm saying $1 billion. So what would you do if someone gives you $1 billion?
If someone gave me that kind of money, well, I'd invest charitably. So I would give that a lot to like animal sanctuaries and stuff like that, and to activism groups. But I'd also do stuff like, quit my job and try to never work again as well, so I could focus on my own activism stuff.
Absolutely. And who do you love the most in this world? Which person?
I'll say my girlfriend Sam.
Who? Girlfriend?
My girlfriend Sam, yeah.
Sam, is Sam watching?
No, she's in the bath at the moment.
Okay. If you got 3 wishes, if Ginny granted you 3 wishes, what would you choose? What would those 3 wishes be?
A vegan world.
Vegan world, wow.
No more human oppression either. So, we'll end all oppression, animal oppression and human oppression. And, damn. And everyone has money.
And?
Everyone has money.
Okay, great. So, when you said you want all kinds of human oppression to end, that just gave me the idea that you are the kind of person who wants fair treatment for all. But I've been seeing a lot that people are getting accused, especially white male vegans, of being racist and hating people of different complexion or darker skin color. So, like, how do you react to that? Don't you feel like hurt that these kind of false accusations are like thrown at you, targeted at you? Like, how do you react to that?
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting, the current sort of hatred we're seeing running through the animal rights movement against white males. The idea that white males are oppressing everyone and that they're causing racism, and they even associate things not related to being white to us as well, like things like homophobia and stuff like that, which anyone could be, and they'll call that white veganism and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a very manipulative agenda going on, you know, coming from sort of the intersection vegans. It's all about getting power and that kind of thing, and it's this whole kind of divide and conquer thing. They want people to fall out so they can inject their politics into the movement, and I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, when you said intersectional, I read the meaning. So, according to the meaning, I think we all are intersectionals, because if we care for, if we are against all kinds of oppressions, that makes us intersectionals as well. So, but how are we different from them is we are not trying to be toxic or create a toxic environment and putting humans above animals, because we are animal rights activists. We are focusing on animals, but they are not doing that. They are hijacking the animal rights movement to focus on human rights issues. So they come into the animal rights movement and they're talking about LGBT, women rights, or black rights. I find this unfair to the animals, because if we go to Black Rights Matter movement and shout their animals, they will get offended as well. So that's why I think it's unfair. Someone asked you a question. Oh God, there are so many questions today. How will we answer those? Oh my God. Oh my God. Why are you always about all this stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with animals? I follow you. Your content is awesome. Not all white males are bad. It's just a reality that they have white privilege. Yeah. What's wrong in that? Even males have privilege over women. What is the? Okay. Why, if someone comes to you and says that veganism is inconvenient for me, why should I go vegan?
No inconvenience that we ever face as humans will ever compare to what the animals go through. It's just minor, trivial bullshit. It's, you know, when people say that, it's not really a massive inconvenience they're talking about. They're just talking about, oh God, I've got to read the ingredients label on something now. Oh, poor me. You know, what a victim I am. Or, you know, oh, at a restaurant, I might just have to say, can you remove the mayonnaise from the veggie burger to make it vegan? I mean, these things are so trivial in comparison to what the animals are going through right now. I don't think people realize the sheer scale and brutality of what is happening to animals. They've been forced into gas chambers. They're lying stuck on their sides in gestation crates, unable to move. And people think that they're the victims because they have to read an ingredients label when they go shopping. I mean, give me a break.
Okay. If you see someone abusing a dog in front of you, what would you do? Like beating the dog, really abusing?
Yeah, physically intervene to stop them. Like, you know, that's what we should do. Any good person should do that.
But like, how will you like try to convince them or hit them directly?
It only depends how, like, obviously at first you should try to resolve things without doing that. So you would just say, you know, you'd shout at them, demand them to stop it, and then if they carried on doing it, you would push them away and seize the dog, I guess, and call the police. I don't know.
Okay. To a lot of vegans are watching, and a lot of vegans will watch later. 300 to 500 vegans. So, can you give some idea about how to create real impact in the world and turn people vegan? Like, you have some little advice for people who are watching.
The important thing here is every vegan needs to speak up. It's not good enough that we're all just vegan, because then the vegan movement won't grow. It's not good enough to just say, hey, I'm not going to buy these products, but, you know, hey, everyone else just do your own thing. We have to speak up. We have to be active. We have to want to change the world. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. If veganism is not mainstream, if veganism is just some kind of weird little secret almost, then who the hell is going to go vegan? We have to all individually speak up, and it works. We're seeing, you know, we're seeing big change. We're seeing more and more people go vegan. It's more mainstream than it's ever been in history, and it shows what happens if you speak from the heart and you say what's going on in the world. You'll face a lot of ignorance, but you'll also get many people who do want to listen.
Okay. So you are saying that the biggest way we can create impact is just speaking out, which most people are not doing. Most vegans, they're not becoming active. Okay.
Absolutely. So many vegans are just happy to just sit on the sidelines and say nothing. And I know it's daunting for some people to speak up. But once again, think of it like we said about the Carnists a moment ago, saying it's an inconvenience. Any inconvenience you go through from just speaking up, it could be a fallout with a friend or a family member. That's absolutely nothing compared to what the animals are going through.
Absolutely. Tell us about one brave moment that you can recall in your life.
Brave moment I can recall. Damn. I wouldn't say there have been too many. I don't consider myself a particularly brave person. So I guess the closest thing to it would be actually going vegan at a time when it wasn't mainstream. So back in 2013, and, you know, pretty much no one in the UK was vegan at that time. I guess that's the closest thing that I've done to something.
Absolutely. That's very courageous, because you are going against the society when you go vegan.
Yeah.
Tell me about one heartbreak moment, real heartbreak moment. You felt heartbroken.
It's probably realizing that so many people in this world just don't care. That to me is heartbreaking, because you have a very rosy picture of humanity before you go vegan. Very rosy. You think that the world is just this good place and there are a few evil people, but good always defeats evil and everything's fine. But it's not true. What we're seeing right now is evil triumphing over good, and it's been that way since the dawn of humankind. Evil has been triumphing, and
it's really sad.
That breaks my heart, just to know that everyone around, you know, most people around you are committing these atrocities, and many just don't care.
It's sad. Absolutely sad. I think many people can relate to that. Like, when they go vegan, they think that we will tell others and others will be on our side, but then they're ignoring these things or laughing at the animal cruelty. Tell us about one funny moment that happened, like, that you recall.
I'd say a really funny moment that happened. What I like is when you're doing street outreach or something, and then a bystander takes your side with something and does something really funny to people who are like harassing us or something. That is so funny. This one time I was doing a Cube of Truth up in Manchester, and this group of like teenage girls were like basically harassing everyone in the cube. They were being complete bitches. They were pointing at the screen. It was footage of the male chicks being shredded, and they were pointing at the screen and laughing and stuff, and then they were trying to like block the screens and stuff, just being complete little brats. And this member of the public, who I don't think was even vegan, he just comes up and he just goes to this girl, "Excuse me, young lady, how old are you?" And she just goes, "I'm 14. And he just goes, "I want your age, love, not your IQ." And everyone was just like, oh! That for me was one of the funniest moments of my activism, for sure.
So non-vegans fighting amongst each other to protect the vegans.
Absolutely, yeah. And I saw it another time as well. We had this guy, it was disgusting. Another cube, this guy, there was something a bit wrong with him, like, but he was like lying down in front of the cube, and he was like he had this like steak stuff dipped in barbecue sauce, and he was just eating it like that. It was just gross. And these two like big bodybuilder guys just come over who had spoke to us earlier, and they weren't vegan, but they had spoke to us earlier and had a good conversation. I think they respected what we were doing, and they just come over and just started staring at this guy who we were trying to talk to say go away. And Michael Green, God rest his soul, he died last year, but he just bent down to this guy and he said, I think you'd better leave now, mate, because these two blokes don't look like the kind of guys who conversation with you. He just stayed there. And then this big bodybuilder bloke just walked up to him and he just kicks the steak out of this guy's hand. Kind of the guy was like,
so scary.
Yeah, and then the guy was caught wind and he's like, okay, I better go now.
Really funny moment, bro. So tell me about one wild moment, like wildest thing that you have done.
I won't be able to. I've been to Ibiza a few times. We'll just leave it at that.
No, we have an adult audience, like 18 plus, no problem.
We'll leave the wild stuff. We'll have to go.
Oh. Can you just tell me separately later?
Okay.
Okay. Who is your hero? Who do you look up to?
I think I'd have to go.
George. Someone said George in Ibiza. Did something happen in Ibiza?
I've been like 4 times to Ibiza now, so I'm sure I could pick out many things. Yeah, but yeah, if you're talking about wildest moment, it'd be probably one of the times when I went there. But yeah.
Okay. Tell me.
Here I look up to would be Gary Yourofsky, just because he's the guy that changed my life. Essentially, if it weren't for his speech, I might not be vegan to this day. So yeah, he would be a guy I can call a hero. What he's done for the animal rights movement is just unparalleled. I know he rubs a lot of people up the wrong way, and he said some things that are a bit crazy, to be honest. But the way he speaks for animals, he speaks like no one else, and the way he captivates people.
Unapologetically.
Yeah.
He speaks unapologetically, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. River says her hero is Walking Phoenix and River. Amazing choice, River. And if you could live anywhere in this world, which place would you choose?
I love the UK, to be honest. It's a bit boring at the moment during lockdown, but I'm going to have to be boring myself and say if I could choose anywhere, it would be the UK. I think it's really good for veganism. As a vegan activist, there's not many better places you'd need to live than the UK.
So is the lockdown still happening? Like there's no, like you cannot move freely?
Yeah. So, but really bad lockdown here. We have like a tier system. So like I couldn't even see my family at Christmas. They're in tier 4. So yeah, it's weird, like martial law. It's like you're not allowed to leave your own county, kind of thing.
But in India, we are gathering like chickens in the poultry farm.
Yeah,
we are together without masks. We are unafraid.
Yeah,
India. Oh my God.
Gyms are closed, so people aren't exercising and stuff. It sucks.
It's still like it must be so difficult, and we do not know about that because like I am talking to you or other people, then I get to know that the lockdown is still there because the lockdown has been lifted here in India.
Yeah.
So what's tier 4? Someone is asking what's tier 4.
Tier 4 is like the highest category of. So basically, the UK, different zones are like split up into different categories as to what you can and can't do. So in the tier 4 area, it means you're not allowed to leave that area, and people from outside that area aren't even allowed to visit. So if you've got a family in tier 4 and you're from say tier 3, you can't visit. Yeah, there's someone just saying here in the comments, Ambika, each area was in a tier before national lockdown was announced again. So now they've locked the whole place down. But yeah, we did have this tier system.
George, what is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear would probably be the idea that humans may not go extinct and oppression will last forever. That I know that sounds a bit dark to a lot of people, but for me, I think humans have had their time on this planet. We need to Jordan and we need to fix our shit while we're here. We need to end oppression while we're here. But ultimately, I think humans are so selfish that it's best that we go extinct. And it worries me to think that humans could live on this planet forever and continually.
How do you keep your hopes up while doing activism when you think humans are like that? So it must be very difficult for people to do activism in that way when you are like thinking negatively.
To be honest with you, yeah, I mean, people ask me stuff like, how do you cope with this? And how do you deal with this and blah, blah, blah. And the answer is I don't. I'm always angry about what's going on. But I see that as a good thing. We have to be angry or we won't get up in the morning and try to change things. Because a lot of people I hear say, how to avoid being an angry vegan. And we need to avoid being angry vegan. No, to hell with that. We need to be angry because otherwise stuff won't change. We need to get up in the morning and say, do you know what? I want to make a change today.
So coming to change, if you could change something about yourself, what would you want to change?
That's a good question. I'd probably want me to be a better public speaker because I'm very good at writing stuff. Like I'm articulate when I write out content, when I'm writing out my website and I'm writing out posts and stuff like that. But if I'm giving like a speech or something at a march or something like that, I can sometimes kind of stumble over my words a bit and stuff like that. So for me, that would really up my game as an activist if I had a better ability to like speak in front of large crowds and stuff like that. So that would be cool if I had that.
Are you training yourself for that? Like taking courses or watching videos? Are you training yourself?
I haven't taken any training specifically, but I think it's one of these things, the practice makes perfect thing. If you're not doing it, then you won't get the hang of it. You can watch all the training and stuff that you want, but unless you actually put yourself in the face of it, it won't improve. And so I've done like lots of workshops and stuff over the years. So I've been around and like done little talks and like workshops and stuff in front of people, and that's definitely helped. I have improved in that sense.
So what is your proudest accomplishment?
Probably just knowing that when I die, people within the activism movement will remember me.
Absolutely.
That for me is because before, I think very much before I was vegan, I just had a completely different outlook on life. My life was about like, it's about getting the best job and you have to find the ideal house and settle down and find a family and stuff. And for me, it's not that anymore. For me now, it's about actually making a positive change to the world. And once you die, thinking, have I actually made a change? And I'm confident that by the time I die, I will have made some kind of change and be remembered in some way for that. And that, for me, I think is an accomplishment.
You already have made a change, created a change. What would you want to be? What did you want to be when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an illustrator when I grew up. Because
What's an illustrator?
Yeah. I used to love drawing and stuff when I was a kid. Or I was never good at it, but I wanted to be a football player as well. Cool things like that.
What's that guy's name who creates like illustrations and makes memes and is very popular?
Vegan Psychic.
He makes amazing art. Like something like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I make my own memes and stuff now, but without the drawing and stuff. So, but you don't necessarily have to draw to make a good meme. And a Vegan Vizard as well is very good. So if anyone's watching who's not familiar with Vegan Vizard, go check him out.
Vegan Vizard. B-I-Z-I-T.
V-I-Z-A-R-D. So it's spelled like wizard.
Wizard.
Yeah.
Wizard. Okay. Guys, check out. And do you read books?
Would you say favorite books?
Yeah. Do you read books? No, I asked, do you read books?
Do I read books? Yeah, I do. And I listen to audio books as well.
Okay.
very good book I'm reading at the moment is actually related.
Which one? Which one do you like the most?
Damn. Well, I'll tell you what, the book I'm reading at the moment is actually amazing, and I'd probably say that will probably end up being one of my favourite books ever, and that's Eternal Treblinka by Charles Patterson. So every vegan should read that book. Every animal rights activist needs to read that book, and it will just really solidify the argument for why this is a Holocaust and how we learn human oppression from animal oppression.
Okay, is it about animals?
Yep, it's about the history of animal oppression and how it relates to human oppression, essentially. And it makes it very clear what we're doing at the Holocaust.
Okay. If you're stranded on a deserted island, who would you take with you?
Who would I take? Damn.
Your girlfriend's not watching. You can take any name.
I'll say whoever's going to be the wisest at getting us the hell out of there. So, damn. No, I wouldn't be able to pick. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I'd be able to pick a few people. I can't do it. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. What do you say to people who say Hitler was a vegan or vegetarian?
The funniest response you can come back with that, if someone said Hitler was a vegan, say back to them, then how does it feel to know that the most evil man in history was kinder to animals than you are?
Oh God. Did you say this before? Is this the first time that you're saying? I never heard this before.
I can't.
So savage.
It's from a bit. I can't take credit for that. It's from a YouTube video from ages ago, years ago, by Richie.
It's super savage. Zida nawaz bhi acha. So, if money was not a factor, what would you do all day?
Well, make more videos, do more street outreach, and also, you know, it's important that we have a good life ourselves as well. I think as activists, I don't like us to see us get mentally bogged down and mentally exhausted. So also do something nice for myself, buy a nice house or something.
Okay. If you get a time machine, what would you do?
Oh. Do you know what? My argument here is going to be really dark and morbid, but I'd go right back in time to the dawn of creation and I'd stamp on the amoeba that created humans.
Are you a misanthropist?
100%. 100%. Our species sucks. I don't. I find it.
But you love a human, right?
No. And I find it weird when vegans don't hate the human race. I find it's like, but why? I just find it so, because we're so selfish, so oppressive, so violent, by far the most violent species that's ever existed on this planet. I don't get how anyone can not be a misanthrope unless they're just naive to what's going on.
Maybe. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, if it takes off, I'd love to see myself being fully funded as a full-time activist. That would be cool. If it's not attainable, it's not. You know, as I say, I've still got I've got a good work-life time balance as it is at the moment. But in 5 years' time, that would be awesome if I could completely sustain myself as an activist.
Why are you not confident about it? As an activist, you are like great activist. So, do you think is there some lack in fundraising skills or that something like that? Because as an activist, you are great.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, I can't control how much people wanna donate and stuff like that. But you know, I'll say the link again if people do want to support my work. Patreon.com/Carnism Debunked. And if you do like my work and you want to see me do more videos and stuff like that, then you can support me that way. And yeah, any donation anyone can make, I'm extremely grateful.
So someone asked you a question that I would have asked you later, but now it has come up. So let's take it. Silence is violence. Go vegan. I don't like how Instagram helps us use Insta handle and we do not know the people's name. So like, yes, he or she is asking, how do you make religious people see the vegan light? I can't convince my very Hindu mom. So like Hindus are like known to be non-violent. They are promoted as non-violent and kind. But when it comes to veganism, they say our gods like Krishna drank milk, so we have to drink milk also. And in the books, in the holy books, it's written we have to, in Ayurveda, we have to use dairy products, we have to use honey, and pour it on like gods, like avatar of gods made of stones. So what do you have to say to that?
So usually with religious people, I bring historical context into account. I will say there are many violent and oppressive verses within your holy books that happen to humans that you skim over now and say, look, you have to bring historical context into account. You have to apply that to the animals as well. It doesn't make sense to just say, oh yeah, we've gone past that now for humans. This was just written at the time. But then for animals, you say, oh, you know, this is the eternal work. That's inconsistent, right? With Hinduism specifically, I guess it's harder if people say we have to do this. So my advice here would actually be to speak to the many Hindu vegans that are out there, because there are many Hindu vegans, and see what they say on this issue, because it would be great to actually see what they say about those specific verses and say, you know, how do I counteract this now as a vegan Hindu living now, and why do I think that it doesn't make sense? So for Hinduism, I think that is important, because I think it is kind of different with Christianity and Islam and stuff. I think it's kind of easier for me to say that. But if it says in the Hindu holy books that you have to drink cow lactations, then my advice there would be to speak to many vegan Hindus.
And more than 90% of Indian vegans are Hindus, so it will be easy, right, to get advice from Hindu vegan.
Yeah, 100%.
So how many pillows do you sleep with?
Just 2.
Okay, and how often do you buy clothes?
Not that much, actually. It was a long time ago, the last time I bought something. I think the last thing I bought was like a pair of trainers or something, probably early last year. Yeah, I haven't bought something in a long time.
And what's your favorite childhood memory?
Damn, favorite childhood memory. I'm trying to think. Damn, I can't think. Probably something lame like completing a video game or something lame like that. Probably nothing exciting, man, sorry.
Yeah, okay. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, damn, Saving Private Ryan would be my favorite movie, and also Toy Story. Yeah, 2 absolutely amazing films.
So silence is Shweta is asking, they are gods, we are not. They even lifted mountains on fingers. Krishna also killed his uncle, and if I'm not wrong, Krishna also stole clothes of women. Oh God, we are not going to target gods now. There will be controversy, and we will be put in jail if we say anything like whatever in India. If you say anything about religious things, okay.
Yeah.
If you say anything about religious things, people are being jailed or like sued. So the freedom of expression has been curbed so much in India. It is becoming like Islamic countries where you cannot say anything about religion or mock. There was free speech in India, but not anymore. So people are being targeted. That's why I'm telling Shweta to be aware of what she's saying. What's the craziest thing you've done in the name of love?
Nothing. I've never done anything crazy, I don't think, in the name of love. I'm pretty boring, I think, when it comes to love.
Okay. If you were the ruler of England or the United Kingdom,
Yeah.
What would be the first law that you would introduce?
And am I just like a normal prime minister who has to sort of go by democracy, or am I like a dictator who can just do whatever I want?
What would you do?
I'm asking, am I in this situation? Am I just like the normal
Yeah,
prime minister?
you're a dictator. No. You're a dictator.
Oh, I'm a dictator. Well, everyone would have to be vegan, obviously. Yeah, end animal oppression. I know I'm a good dictator, not an evil one.
even if you're even if you're made the prime minister, I think you will be a dictator, because we want to force this idea on people. Everyone has to go vegan. If you
Yeah.
had a warning, if you had a warning label, ask Sam about a name of love question. Who's Sam? If you had a warning label, what would you say? What would it say? Warning label. Beware, then caution what?
Beware comes packaged with truth. That would be my label.
Oh,
Because a lot of people.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how funny would you say you are?
I don't want to say that because it's kind of lame if you rate yourself as funny or something. So I'll let other people make their mind up about that.
How many languages do you speak?
At the moment, just English, but I am learning Spanish using Duolingo app. The reason being because I think it's very useful to learn a language like Spanish
Okay.
when you're in Europe, or even in like the Americas and stuff, just because it's one of the world's most spoken languages, and I think it'd be useful for activism, doing outreach and stuff. Because I do get a lot of like Spanish-speaking bystanders, and it would be good to speak to them in Spanish.
What is that one thing you would never do again?
Damn, one thing I would never do again.
It's done.
That is a good question. I guess the one thing I'll never do again is just have like completely naive trust about humans and stuff. I think people should earn your trust and stuff, because humans screw you over. This is what I love about animals, like dogs and stuff like that. They never screw you over. They're so loyal. Humans, no, it's the opposite. So one thing I never do again is be naively trusting of every single person.
Yeah, I watched a movie about stray dogs, and the girl in the movie, she cares for the dogs, and the guy asked, his boyfriend asked her, why do you care about animals so much? And she said that their love is unconditional, unlike love of humans. Humans are not loving unconditionally. So
Yeah,
animals' love is unconditional.
cats definitely love conditionally rather than unconditionally, but yeah.
If someone tricks you into eating meat, and tells you that it is mock meat, but they feed you meat, and then they laugh at you, saying that I fed you meat, what would you do to that person? Like, what would you say, or what would you do?
Oh, you have to get revenge. You'd have to like piss in their bottle of milk or something.
Oh God. So I'm coming to the end of questions. Like, you're answering very quickly, and what is something you never told anyone?
Damn. Maybe that because a lot of vegans seem to think that I'm like, I don't know why the people get this impression, but a lot of people seem to think that I'm not that like kind of soppy and emotional about animals. They kind of think that I just see animals and I'm just like, nah, but I'm like passionate about their rights and stuff like that. But like, a lot of people wouldn't know that I'm really like soppy and shit around animals. Like if there's like a piglet or a puppy or a lamb or something around me, I'm just like a squealing little child, basically. I think that would probably be something most people probably didn't know.
Okay. Sweetest thing anyone ever done for you?
Probably just like, I think my parents have always been really good to me throughout my life. They've always had my back over everything. So just anything that my parents have done for me, to be honest, like they've always, like, when I've been in trouble, bailed me out and supported me. So yeah, I would just say all the stuff that my parents have done for me over my life.
If you knew that you would die in 2 hours, what would you do?
Is that a threat? No.
No. Why would I?
I'm trying to think. Damn, I'd probably have to make some massive like rant or something on social media, like write the fastest essay that I could write up in like those remaining 2 hours about why every single person should leave animals the fuck alone, basically. And that would be like my final masterpiece to the world.
Wow. What's the best thing that ever happened to you?
Best thing that ever happened to me. I have to say going vegan. I have to say, like, you know, it would suck if I wasn't vegan. I'd hate to be sort of like blissfully ignorant and still funding the animal Holocaust and thinking that everything was okay. I mean, veganism is bittersweet. It comes with its downside, but at least we know now that the atrocities that we were taking part in, and we can stop. So yeah, I have to say that.
The vegan community is divided when it comes to feeding meat to pets, right? So what's your take on this?
So I understand that it can be a very hard situation for vegans who already have carnivorous animals in their care, like snakes and stuff like that. And the answer to those circumstances is it's a catch-22, because no matter what you do, if you have like a snake or something in your care, there's no easy way out. There will always be some kind of bad solution to that. If you have, though, like a dog in your care, dogs you can easily put on a plant-based diet. There's no excuse for people to be feeding like their dog animal flesh. Cats is harder. Cats can be done. You can put a cat on a plant-based diet, but you have to be very meticulous and careful. You have to be checking their urine pH for acidity and stuff like that. But yeah, as I say, if you have like a snake or a tarantula or something like that, there's simply no simple solution. It's just a catch-22. Wherever you go, there's always going to be something bad.
Oh, okay. This is one live session I've done like close to 25 or 26. Today, like I'm getting a lot of questions. Like so many questions that we cannot even answer in time. What's your do you share table with meat eaters?
So I was thinking of taking the Liberation Pledge years ago, but it ultimately just wouldn't have been practical, and I thought about it more. And it's something I've always thought about and stuff over the years, but I haven't done it yet. And I just think that it would just be so hard to navigate through life, because there's always, I'm going back to see, like when I go back to see my family or something, or friends and stuff like that, because I don't hang around with just vegans. I hang around with non-vegans as well. And I do see the positives there of doing it as well. Then it creates opportunity to have discussion. Because if you actually do take the opportunity to share a table, and it's horrible, I hate sitting at a table with dead animals on it as much as anyone. But if you do create that opportunity, you can actually create a bit of discussion and stuff like that. But, you know, I completely understand the arguments against that and why someone would take the Liberation Pledge. And it's something I've thought about and I'm thinking about a lot. So who knows what will happen in the future.
Okay. Durga is asking, do you like writing? You already said you like.
Yeah, I like writing about like animal liberation and stuff. Yeah, sure. I don't just like randomly write stuff though, like an author does or anything like that. But yeah, for sure, actually writing stuff about veganism and animal liberation and writing up. Yeah.
Also, quickly, what's your take on lab-grown meat?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I don't think it's something that vegans should necessarily support themselves, because I don't want to give across the impression that we need animal flesh, and there's all that propaganda that will come along with it. But I think we have to accept people in this world who, no matter what the alternatives are, will just flat out refuse to change. If you can't give them the exact, you know, animal flesh that they want, for some reason they just won't eat it, for whatever weird reason that is. And if we can provide them with that to end the animal holocaust, then I say so be it. It's not perfect, but I say if we can create that and get and end the animal holocaust that way, I just worry about how we would procure this, like, because I know that we talk about we'd have to get strips from animals and stuff like that. I wouldn't want them to be bred and stuff like this.
George,
so
George, I would like to interrupt.
Sure.
George, I would like to interrupt. Guys, can you see me clearly? I think your screen got a little hazy. Guys, can you comment whether you can see both of us clearly? George, can you see me? Clear?
Yeah. I can see us both clearly. Yeah.
Now, go on. It's clear again. Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Go ahead with this.
So I was just saying, there's pros and cons of lab-grown meat, but overall, I would say the pros outweigh the cons. If it comes to ending the world's largest scale atrocity, then I think we should just support it.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And what's your take on meatless Monday? Like, how is that method for you?
Yeah, I don't support reducitarian campaigns. I think meatless Monday, like, imagine if it was applied to any other injustice. So a good analogy I've heard before is, imagine if for domestic abuse we called it beatless Monday, and you just didn't beat your spouse on a Monday. Right? It would sound fucking insane. Like, so
beatless.
Oh yeah, to check whether something holds up.
I would
ethically, I say always compare.
I would say is, what I would say is, people who are saying about meatless Monday, they care for animals as well, but they know that other people are too selfish, and they are just trying to bring them closer to the well to make them drink the water. So they're just trying to, like, I think, make it easier for them. But yeah, I don't use that method because I don't like. If people have to go vegan, they will go vegan, but we will have to speak our truth, what it is, instead of trying to, like, manipulate them through, like, I think it won't work. Like, at least it doesn't work for me. People who think it is effective, they can do that. But as an activist, I don't think it works for me. If one wishes to be a full-time vegan activist, how can that person, like, sustain themselves emotionally and financially? So your suggestion to the people who are watching.
Yeah, so emotionally, they need to, again, it's kind of what I said earlier, they need to remember that it's not all about, you know, being happy all the time and just thinking that, you know, oh, how do I avoid becoming angry and all that kind of stuff like that. We have to channel our anger and use it appropriately and see it ultimately as a good thing that's going to inspire us to make a change. So you have to think, so when we have negative emotions as an activist, remember every cloud has a silver lining, and deal with it that way and think the reason I'm having these emotions is because I want to actually do something, and these emotions are inspiring me to make a change. Financially, first they need to make a name for themselves, so they won't be able to support themselves financially unless they put themselves out there and enough people actually know their name. So they need to be producing good, high quality content. They need to be even if it's not just stuff like them writing stuff or doing YouTube videos of them speaking to the camera, they need to be doing something that's putting themselves on the map so that people think, this is a person who's worthwhile getting out of their full-time job. And so people are actually funding them full-time. But if they can't make a name for themselves, it won't work.
So yeah, I got it. Like, I see many people, like, newly turned vegans, like, over the years I've worked with many people, and newly turned vegans, the first thing they came and said that how to earn money. And I told them that I've been working for 6 years in this field, and I used to do my work as an interior designing job, but I still put every day 3-4 hours on this thing, and I never thought about how to make money because I knew it's not going to be easy. But when you make a name for yourself, you will realize that it becomes easy, and you'll feel, if I go and ask people for support, they'll support. That is the time you can become a full-time activist. But like you said, we have to make a name for ourselves. Maybe a person is doing a lot of work, but it is not out there in social media. So how would people know? So we have to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So guys who are watching, if you want to be a full-time activist, you have to be there, like be super popular. So people know you, what work you are doing, show through the world so they can support you. Right?
Yeah. But
And very nicely
when
answered.
you say being popular, I want to say don't say stuff just for the sake of being liked. Say stuff even if it's unpopular, because the real ones will always support you anyway.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And you almost answered all questions. This is the first time that someone answered all questions. I never ask every question to anyone. Like I have a lot of questions, but this is the first time I asked every question that I had, and you asked like very quickly. So now we are coming to the end, and some questions from my mind right now. So in Bengal, the place I live in, it like in the culture in Bengal is the state that I live in, West Bengal. People eat a lot of fish, and they take pride in eating fish and say that it is part of our culture. How would you like debunk this carnist myth about culture? Eating fish is culture.
Yeah, culture is not an excuse for violence. And you can always say to someone from that culture, well, there are other cultures who do X thing that you disagree with. Would it be okay for them to justify it by saying this is in my culture? So you could say to people in Bengal who are against women being stoned to death in Iran and Saudi Arabia, and you say, well, it's part of their culture to stone women to death. Is that justifiable because it's part of their culture? Make them realize just what a terrible excuse it is to abuse and oppress someone just because it's your culture.
Good one. And also, many people in India say their argument is we won't go vegan because if we do, what will happen to the poor people? Like they will lose their jobs, the dairy farmers or those who are like selling meat, the poor butchers. So we are eating animals to support the poor butchers. They come up with arguments because otherwise we would have gone vegan. So we are doing this for the poor butchers or the dairy farmers. So what's your comeback to that?
Yeah. So here they're putting the oppressor and their life over the oppressed. But I say life, it's not even their life, it's just a job. A butcher can get a new job. A cow can't get a new head after it's been cut off. So it's what people are doing here is they're turning humans into the victims and putting these trivial little issues above the actual right of someone to a life. And in any case, if we switch to a vegan world, we can have jobs that would match that to meet demand anyway. And they don't say these things for any other industries as well. If someone says, I'm quitting smoking, they don't say, oh, you're putting poor tobacco factory workers out of jobs. Like, it's the same thing, and they can't consistently apply it to animal agriculture.
Recently, I saw your argument where you were saying that anti-vegans say that when we go vegan, we are putting people out of job in meat industry. But if they're not going vegan, they're putting people out of job in the vegan industry. So that was a great comeback. Yeah, I remember that was very nice. And the last one for the Muslim people who say that it's like God has given us permission to eat animals, and also God wants us to sacrifice animals. How do you reply to them? You must have come across many people, Muslims people in the world, because your activism is all around the world. Thousands and thousands of followers you have. So it's just understandable that many of them will be Muslims. So how do you respond to them?
And we have a big Muslim population in the UK as well. So I've spoken to them a lot on outreach, and they always say this as well. So there are different routes we can go down with this. Firstly, there are verses you can find in each holy book that actually do speak out against killing animals. So you know yourself, as you've read the Quran and stuff like that, right? You know that there are verses, because you've mentioned them to me before, that speak out against this. But also, again, the historical context thing has to come into account. You have to say here that you know, there are verses in the Quran which condone harming humans, but if you're a good Muslim and it's 2021, you would say, no, this verse is not relevant now. You have to apply the same thing to animals, and especially when the Quran was written. It was written thousands of years ago in the desert. Vegetation was very sparse, so it might have been as this kind of like survival thing, but it's not relevant now to do this thing. And also, you know, you can always say as well the great question that Gary Yourofsky asked, which is, if God condones enslaving, murdering, raping the most innocent beings on the planet, then what does the devil do? And I think that's a very powerful question to ask.
Very well answered. George, we have come to the end of this session. We will take some questions from people, and then you will sing a song for us, and then you will give a small speech for the audience, and then we'll end it. You do sing songs, right? Don't you? You do sing songs.
I do. I like to do.
You have a nice voice.
Thanks. I do like to do a bit of karaoke, but yeah, maybe not on the spot. I wouldn't be able to.
Okay, not a problem. So Sujay asked about the word vegan. Yeah, I have had a lot of discussions with activists who were not in support of using the word vegan because it created confusion, because many people who do not eat animals, they call themselves vegans, and they are not they do not support animal liberation. They just don't want to eat animals for health reasons or environment reasons or anything else. So that doesn't separate animal activists or any people who are like animal liberation activists who wants animal to see animals free, and it just brings them all in one group. So what do you have to say to that?
Sorry, I'm just going to put my phone on charge because it's kind of dying right now. Sorry, yeah, there is a huge problem with so-called vegans acting like they're vegan when actually they're not. We have to make it clear that veganism is not a diet. And we have to use the word plant-based more. For people who just decide, oh, I don't eat this and I don't eat that, but they support circuses and zoos and they wear wool and they wear leather and they basically just support animal oppression. But all it is they just don't put things into their body that come from animals. And yeah, that's a plant-based diet, but veganism is absolutely not a diet. It's a justice movement, and we just need to make that very clear.
Veganism as the official definition, does that create confusion, or do you think we need to come up with a new definition for veganism?
I don't think I think the original definition is fine as defined by the Vegan Society. I don't think we're creating the confusion. I think it's people, whenever you have any kind of movement, people will always kind of latch into that and treat it as some kind of like trend. That it's their problem, it's not ours. It's not us who have done this. The Vegan Society definition states that it's about living without animal exploitation as far as is practical and possible. It doesn't say it's just about eating this. It says it's applying it to all areas.
Got it.
So, yeah.
So guys, you please comment which song do you want him to sing. So we will choose one song amongst them. Okay, now comes the expression challenge, and I'll say what expression you have to make faces. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready? So make an angry face.
There you go.
Okay. Make a sad face. Perfect. Make a jealous face. Angry and jealous, similar. And make a happy face. Yeah, you have. So yeah, we have come to the end of this session, and it has been amazing session. So I would like you to end it with a speech. So imagine that you are on TV and millions of people are watching, and then you are going live, and they give you 2 minutes to speak to people. So your time starts. 1, 2, 3, go.
If you claim to be against injustice, it's time you stopped putting injustice into your body. It's time that you stopped wearing the products of injustice. It's time that you stopped supporting the largest act of systemic violence in history. If you have any ounce of decency whatsoever, It's time to stop the brutality that we pour on these innocent beings who are treated worse than we treat even the worst people in prisons. We pour the most heinous wrath and cruelty upon these innocent beings that we wouldn't even wish upon our worst enemy. They haven't even done a single thing wrong to deserve this. And veganism is not the most we can do for these animals. We're not asking, because a lot of people ask us and they say stuff like, you know, you want to give animals the same rights as humans. We're not asking them to be able to drive cars or fly planes or vote. We're asking that people just give back to them their basic right to a life that has been robbed from them at birth. We need to give them back their inherent birthrights that we have robbed from them. So if you care, veganism is the least you can do.
Wow, it was amazing and powerful. I will cut that part out and post it, but not now, after a month or so. So we'll end this with a message for your ex.
Give me my fucking money back.
That was nice. Okay, thank you guys who are watching. I'll just take names. There are 25 people watching. Like, I got a lot of people watching today. You have like good following. So thank you Sajani, thank you Navya, thank you Shweta, thank you Komal, thank you Arshad, thank you Karanjot, thank you Sama, thank you Vegan Affair, thank you Nikita, two sisters watching together. Thank you Vegan on the way, thank you Kavi, thank you Mile, thank you Viking, thank you Sujay, thank you Harin, thank you Tina, Jen Bob, silence is violence vegan. I don't like this kind of like Instagram handles. Thank you Ambika, thank you Asia, thank you Nancy, Alex, Laura, Nico. I'm running out of breath now. Thank you Caramel. Thank you all for watching. You guys, song. Will you end it with a song?
All right, if you tell me one to sing, I'll do one quickly. It has to be a popular song though. It can't be just some random one I've never heard.
Girls Like You, the Maroon 5. Girls Like You, like anything from Maroon 5?
Oh no, I don't know it. Well, I probably do know it. No, give me another one.
It goes like, okay, any Michael Jackson songs?
All right, yo. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl that said that I am the one. There you go.
Liking it. Please, little more. You sing nice. You sing nice.
Thanks. That's all you get.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, George. It was fantastic. Everyone loved it. And Ed Sheeran. No, Hari, no more. Like yesterday's guest, we made him sing 3-4 songs in different languages, and he kept on singing. He was like, oh, what am I here for?
Wow.
Okay. Thank you guys for watching. When the video is saved, you go like and comment, because all the comments and all the views here will vanish. It won't stay there, and people will think that no one watched. This is a sad part in Instagram. I don't think if it happens on Facebook or not, but on Instagram, when you are like done watching, it won't show that how many people saw it. It won't show how many comments were there, how many likes were there. So when it is done, you also send it to your friends, and guys, send it to everyone. This is a must watch. I think this is the best. This has been the best like live stream till date, because a lot of people watched, a lot of engagement, a lot of questions, and funniest. And the best part of this show is like, give my fucking money back to the ex. I would want to know who the ex is. Bye. Thank you, George. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.